So let's go across now to Dr. Shashank Joshi, who joins me, is of course a part of the COVID task force of Maharashtra. Dr. Joshi, so we're hearing there this patient was actually infected 2 months ago, and there's still some confusion over whether she actually had the XC variant. Is this something to worry about?
So we need to be vigilant. So as we progress in the post-COVID era, Sonia, we need to be vigilant both for genomic surveillance and sentinel surveillance. That has to continue. Recombinants can often be contaminants also, which is why the INSACOG is redoing the FASTQ test files, and they are saying that they want to confirm it beyond reasonable doubt, and that has not been confirmed. Having said that, we need to be vigilant because these 600 plus cases of XE have been reported from UK, but even the UK data, which came in the last week of March, says that the transmissibility or its clinical relevance is unknown. In virus evolution, we know when the virus evolves, clearly it gets a little more contagious, but it gets less virulent. So it becomes more like a cold or a flu. Only in the vulnerable groups, we have to be more careful, like elderly, etc. So I think now that we have relaxed all the curbs, it is mandatory to ensure that indoor masking, particularly in people who are immunocompromised, needs to be appropriately followed, and some COVID appropriate behavior in crowded, closed indoor spaces where there is poor ventilation needs to be maintained. So that is the only thing which we need to be vigilant of. Yes, this patient completely recovered. So from this patient, I think there is no need to generate a panic. Only the report was out today. However, this patient was, there almost 4 weeks back, as your reporter has rightly pointed out.
So I think that's an important point you're making, Dr. Joshi, that be vigilant, because for many people it's almost as if COVID has ended. But given the Omicron experience and the point you're making that its impact actually becomes less and less, hopefully there's no need to go back to strict curbs or no need to go back to strict lockdowns. It's good that children are back in schools. We shouldn't be looking at bringing masks as mandatory again.
So I think indoor masking is something which is necessary. We will have to have voluntary vaccination to continue. But vaccination as well as masking should be a health habit, and people need to voluntarily participate in it. Now I think the onus is more on people at large, and they need to be motivated to do it as a health habit. We have seen this in Japan, we have seen this in Asia predominantly, where masking is a health habit, where flu pandemics come and go. So I think it's important that we also inculcate this habit.
That point you made on vaccination, because doctor, a question so many are asking is what about boosters? Because so many people, and this studies across the world have shown that the vaccination immunity wears off after 6 to 8 months. And so many Indians are actually in that phase now, but there's no decision yet on booster doses. Would you push for boosters at this time?
So the data on Indian subcontinent as far as boosters is concerned is awaited. Secondly, right now we are awaiting from Mumbai at least the Sero survey. The Sero survey report should be out next week. And we know that both there has been a large exposure and 100% vaccination. And therefore, currently, at least for next 3 to 6 months, it is not needed, except for vulnerable groups, healthcare workers, frontline workers.
Right.
But even for general population, that data in the next 3 to 6 months, we will need an additional dose probably.
Right. Dr. Joshi, thank you so much for, I think, really your calm perspective. No need to panic. It's another variant, but hopefully the impact will not be widespread. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Joshi.